Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Andy, for that very nice introduction. One other fact about my background, and one of the reasons that I may have something relevant to share today, is that along the way at Oric, we opened a center in Wheeling, West Virginia. We opened that 15 years ago with 70 people. We now have 350, which gives me some perspective about the topic we're talking about today, the connection between education and jobs. So I've been on the board of the Education Alliance for several years. I get a chance sometimes to moderate panels, and that's been fun. This is the first time I get to really talk about what I think about education, and so thank you, Amelia, for letting me do this. And what I want to talk about today is something that is at the core of the first two great talks we had today, which is the importance of public education to our state. So I look out here at this room and I listen to Chad and Tony, and I know this room is full of people who give their lives to public education. One way or another, all of you give of your time, give of your energy to public education. So I'm addressing a room full of true believers about this subject of public education. What I want to do today is get concrete and specific about how important public education is to us, because I believe it is the cornerstone that enables us to be the state we want to be. Without public education, we just can't be who we want to be in all the ways, from economics to social decency among us. So before I get to that, I want to make another point to all you true believers. West Virginia and our system of public education needs you more today than ever. At the table I was with here during the brief discussion break, that's really what we talked about. That education needs more support than ever. We know what the reasons are. We know in part, just for starters, we need to get better outcomes. We need to do even better, just as the world is. The world would just stand still. We need to do better in the outcomes we produce with our children, but the world won't stand still. So the world continues to change, and we need to change with it. So in addition to just doing better, we have to adapt the way we teach to the changing world and its changing demands on our kids and the changing demands of the workforce. This is what Chad was saying, you're going to go out there and work in jobs that haven't been invented yet. So we have to adapt to that, and we have to adapt to the changing reality of our children, because their lives are changing too, and often not for the better. So the challenge in the classroom is harder in all those ways. Then we have a budget crisis. You know, we're not unique in the country. We've made it among the worst at the moment. Every state is struggling to make ends meet, have enough revenue to cover all the expenses, but we're, of course, in what is no exaggeration to call a crisis at the moment in Charleston. And that's not going to go away. Whatever resolution we get, this challenge isn't going to go away. And so we're one of the biggest elements of spending in state government. And there's always going to be a temptation to deliver fewer resources to education. And as wrong as that would be, it just may well happen. And whether we get less money or not, if it's less money to education, then we're going to have to adapt. And then education will need us even more. And as citizens, we can raise our voices and resist less money for schools, but in any event, that's another reason that education needs you more than ever. And then, there will always be new challenges on the horizon. The one I want to mention just briefly this morning is vouchers. So vouchers is an idea that's emerging. It has a lot of support in Washington. And I don't know a lot about vouchers, actually. Nobody does. Nobody knows much about how they actually will work. But I do know this, and this part worries me. Vouchers fundamentally involve taking our limited revenues and giving it back to people so they can send their kids to private school, which of course is their right. And the people who support vouchers say that doesn't mean that we're going to take money away from the public schools. But I've been around the world a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that over time, if you take the money that was earmarked for public education and give it back, there's going to be less money in public education. I don't know that, but as citizens, but there's some heads nodding here in the room. But I think as citizens, as we look at this idea of vouchers, and it's appealing, of course everyone's got the right to send their children where they want to send them. But we've got to be realistic about what this means if we take the money away from the public schools and send them to vouchers. At any rate, and there will be more challenges facing us. So, our schools need us more than ever. Let me talk about why this is so important. And it goes right to that question that we were discussing at lunch. Education is the gateway to the American dream. You know, we are all proud of the idea that no matter where you start, you can be anything in America, right? We are all proud of this. This is part of who we are as Americans. No matter who your parents are, or even if you don't have parents, if you can dream it, you can be it. And the reason that's true, there's a lot of reasons that's true, but one of them is public education. Just what Tony does in her classroom. Giving the kids confidence. Giving the kids windows on the world. Now I know about this because all of my life was enabled by public education. That career of mine that Andy described was made possible by public education. My parents are from rural West Virginia in Wetzel County. They wanted their little boy to do better, and I was able to because I went to public education. My Tony Poling was Mrs. Tucci in the 4th grade at Edgewood Elementary School in Weirton. And she opened my eyes to things, and those lessons served me all the way through those fancy schools I got to go to and my career as a lawyer. Every little boy and girl ought to be able to do what I did. And you know, that's the American dream. So, and for me, that's enough reason for us to support education. But there's way more, and way more that's very concrete and specific. So, for one, public education enables our children or our grandchildren to qualify to have a rewarding job. Without public education, they can't do that. Most of them, right? And collectively, it enables us to have a workforce and a citizenry that is self-sustaining. All of us want as few people as possible to need public assistance. We want everybody to be able to go to work, earn the money they need to support their families, have that rewarding life, and have a healthy society. Public education is what makes that possible, especially because the people who need it most don't have the means to do anything else. So public education will educate our people to be self-sustaining, our own kids to have good jobs. Public education will also create a workforce that is competitive in the world. Right? We need more jobs in West Virginia. And we're going to need different jobs. The way Chad was talking, we're going to need jobs that haven't been invented, and we're going to need jobs that are different from the jobs we've had. We want as many of our traditional jobs, but we want new jobs as well. For us to compete for new enterprises to come to West Virginia and to compete to keep our enterprises here, we have to have a workforce that is educated. I know about this one personally too. So when we decided where to put our global operations center, we called it that before we were global, but it sounded good. But we're going to open our operations center, and we could put this anywhere in the continental United States. So the way we were configured, we wanted to put this in one of the 48, the lower 48 actually. We wanted to put it in one of the 48, but we could have put it anywhere. And we developed a set of questions that would be the criteria for whether one place or another would be the right fit. And of course, anybody doing this is going to be concerned about cost, access. There's certain sort of fundamental business questions. But the most important question for anyone looking to relocate a business is the workforce. There's nothing close to that. We ran blind ads in local newspapers in the places we were considering going to see who would apply. I mean, you have all this research and all this data, but we made our own data. And West Virginia won our center on the merits because it had the workforce. And this couldn't be more real. How this connects, how we connect education to jobs, this is it. We create the workforce. You create the workforce. Tony creates the workforce in West Virginia. So we educate our people, we create a workforce. We make a society that is safer. Everyone's worried about security, correctly, for a lot of reasons. But a healthy education system reduces crime. This is very real, and something people rarely talk about. There's real evidence about this. Let me just share some simple statistics that tell you the whole story. There is a direct correlation, everybody in this room knows this, I'm just going to remind you. There's a direct correlation between the percentage of children who can read at grade level in the 3rd grade and high school graduation. Everybody knows that. There is a direct correlation between high school dropouts and crime. High school dropouts are 3.5 times more likely to be incarcerated than people who complete high school. You don't need any more statistics than that to know that in addition to everything else, public education makes us a safer society. And then finally, public education gives us an informed electorate. If the American dream is one of our really bedrock ideas that make us proud to be American, democracy even trumps that. We get to decide. We might make mistakes, but we get to decide who governs. We get to influence public policy at the ballot box. And for this to work, we need our citizens to go to the ballot box informed. And public education is the key to that. The better our system of public education, the more informed our electorate is, and the stronger our democracy is. And as these issues get more and more complicated, more and more challenging, it becomes more important. So for all those reasons, what all of you do is as important as anything you could possibly put your time to. And so all of us at West Virginia Education want to thank you, all of you, for what you do. We want to encourage you to keep doing it and maybe even do more. We want to encourage you to reach out to your neighbors and friends and encourage them to do more, because the answer, as we talked about at our table to this question we discussed at lunch, is an ever more active population and citizens and parents active in supporting their schools. We can promise you at the Education Alliance we will do our part. We're trying to be as helpful as we can be in a set of activities that Amelia Courts leads us in. But we'll do our part, and working together, we can preserve public education in West Virginia, and we can make it better for as far forward as we can see. Thank you very much.